The tournament's tough because I don't live in college basketball.
Yeah.
And the way the CBS Turner partnership, we kind of helicopter in.
Yeah.
At the end there. And so the nerve-wracking part is the preparation for the first week. And you get your assignments late Sunday night, and you're like, it's like scrambling for a test.
Yeah. Trying to learn names and things like that.
Yeah. And that, it's fun though. Like it's the preparation is fun. And but you have to watch video. Like I'll try to watch 3 games on each team. And you go on your computer and Hoops 1 media, and all the games are on, you can go and access them. And you need to see players, understand their tendencies, things of that nature. But it's a bit of a whirlwind. And then that first day is brutal.
Yeah.
Games. And it's just keeping your energy up. So once you can get past that first day, it's smooth sailing. Like it's pretty easy, but it's fun, man. At the tournament, there's this great spirit, there's great energy. It really is an honor and a privilege to be able to broadcast those games. And to have gone to Final Fours, as a kid, and then to play in them, and then now broadcast them.
Yeah.
And to see it from all different angles.
Yeah, you've had every experience.
It's fun. Now, it was funny. So this past year, it was. I remember. I can't remember if it was the semifinal game or it might have been the Elite 8 game. So I might have one right here. I have my boards. And I usually do it like on a manila folder, and I'll put like one team on one side and the other on the other. And then I'll have a highlighter, over people's names and stats and all that. And I have my own system. And so we did Oregon, like maybe in the Sweet 16. But for Baylor, I used a green highlighter and a yellow highlighter. And so I remember during the game, because the colors, like the yellow and the green, I kept calling them. I think I was calling them Baylor, Oregon, and like I did it like 3 or 4 times, and then my producer was like, after the 4th or 5th time, was like, Grant, please stop calling. Twitter is killing you right now, and so like that happens, it is what it is, and obviously the Baylor faithful get upset.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but aside from those kind of minor mistakes, it's fun. It's fascinating to get to learn the stories of the teams. Spending time with the players, the coaches. One thing that's always awkward, and I'll just say this. So we've done Duke a lot. We've we've won their games. And one thing that Jim Nance and the crew likes to do is sort of in between the 2 games, they like to meet with the teams.
Yeah.
And we'll bring Duke in. So when Duke won in 15, we spend time with Okafor, Winslow, Quinn Cook, the starting 5.
Yeah. And
a lot of times we'll meet with the starting 5 separate from the coach. And so, I always ask the guys, just to kind of loosen them up, because they see Jim Nance, Bill Raftery, myself, everything is yes, sir, no, sir.
Yeah.
They look at me as like, old man Grant or whatever. So I always try to relax everybody. So the first thing I always ask them is, who does the best Coach K imitation? And inevitably somebody will say it, and then they all kind of laugh and relax or whatever. So in 2019, we're in not Charleston, we're in Columbia, South Carolina. It was the day before we almost lost to UCF.
Yep.
Game.
Yeah, I was down there for that one.
You were down there?
Yeah.
Incredible game.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Johnny Dawkins had that team ready.
Yeah. And
funny story. So we're meeting with the Duke team, and Coach K's in the meeting. And so first thing I Coach K's here, but I got to ask the question. So I'm like, okay, which one of you guys does the best Coach K imitation? And I'm thinking it's going to be silence because Coach is there. And right away, Zion goes, oh, everybody's pointing to Zion. And then Zion proceeds to imitate Coach. And like everybody's laughing, like the guys on the team are laughing, Jim, Tracy, Raftery, Coach K's even laughing.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable. Like I'm the only one making it. Like I'm like very uncomfortable because the thought of like imitating Coach K during the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, like that's like, so I was like, oh man, like what have I done? Like I was the only one in the room. Like I looked over at Coach's, and he was really laughing. Like I could tell he liked that team.
Yeah.
He liked the interaction. But I was like, whoa, like this is what's going on here. Like I was, and so I mean, Coach obviously adapts and changes, and throughout the years, and so it was a cute moment. But stuff like that, like those interactions, obviously on air is fun, but the totality of the whole experience is what makes it special for me.
Yeah. And then this year, obviously, it was a bit different. One, Duke's not in the tournament, but then not having the fans and things like that. So what was it like from your perspective? Because, for me at home watching, it's kind of the same. It's a similar experience. I'm watching at home. It's exciting. I know I was running around when Gonzaga hit that shot against UCLA, excited. So was it like, how is it different this year as opposed to other years?
Well, one of the parts that we like is our crew. We spend time together normally during a tournament. Dinners, raft. There's a lot of drinking, a lot of wine, and that part makes it fun. The socializing with one another, the dinners, the coming back after a long day of games and going to our hotel and having a meeting room with pizza and wine and watching games on the West Coast, and just all that time we spend together, it becomes like family, and it's something you look forward to. And because of the COVID protocols this year, we weren't permitted to do that.
Yeah.
So if we weren't calling games, like we were in our room, and there were, I remember I did, like the Final Four, we finished Saturday night. I didn't leave my room until I left for the final game.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
Room service, Uber Eats, having it dropped off in your room.
Yeah.
So that part was tough. At times you feel like the walls were closing in, but you didn't really get a chance to have that total experience with our whole crew. And so we figured it out that we kind of gamed this. So they weren't going to let us do anything. So we ended up bringing the wine to the green room.
Okay.
And after the games, we would just kind of stay in the green room, at least for the Final Four, for the semis and the finals, until they kicked us out, like until they shut down the building. And so literally, like security came in there and were like, okay, like it's 2 a.m.
Y'all gotta go, yeah.
Y'all have to go. We're locking the doors. You guys have to leave. And so that was the only sort of social interaction. And it would be like 10, 15 of us, the producers, the directors, all of us as broadcasters, all the people behind the scenes. That was the only experience we kind of got to do those types of things. And so that was fun at the end. But it was an unusual, like everyone, it's a tough year, and we all have to adapt and adjust, and we certainly did this past Final Four.
Yeah, so you were part of one of the more memorable moments in national championship history with the Kris Jenkins shot. And during the play, while the play's happening, Arcidiacono's bringing the ball up. You say he's got Jenkins as he's bringing it up. And that, how do you see that? Because I feel like everyone's just in those like high pressure moments. Everybody's just staring at the ball. Was that just the point guard in you? Like, oh yeah, you just see the whole floor. Yeah. So how did you spot that out in that moment?
Well, two things that were important about that moment, and that's something like, it's really funny. It speaks to the selflessness of Jim Nance, because he's so excited that in that moment that I got in there and was able to say something, and it was perfect. Like it didn't, it added to the commentary in that moment. And one of the things early on, like, when I first started calling game, like I'd never called a game before.
Yeah.
They told me to, hey, you're going to do the Final Four. Like I had done 3 NBA games and I was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And some may still say I'm terrible, but I hadn't. So I was a little overwhelmed. I was insecure. I'm working with 2 icons, and so Jim, the first couple of years, used to really encourage me, like, get in there. Like, if you step on me or talk over me, so be it. Like, just like get in there. Don't. And I think there was just a respect and a deference, being deferential for, towards those guys. So I think, being able to get in there in that moment and just even say, watch Jenkins. I think what I saw in that moment went back to a play that we used to run in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And when I was the point forward, Terry Mills, who was one of the early sort of stretch fours in the NBA, was a great 3-point shooter. Doug Collins was our coach, and Doug used to say, look, Terry, if you're feeling it in a game and, or you need a shot or whatever, you have a play called Michigan. He went to Michigan, and you can call the play. And so what it was Terry would take the ball out. He'd say Michigan, or I might say Michigan. Mm-hmm. And I would dribble down the court. And as we got over half court, I would dribble at his man. Mm-hmm. And Terry would kind of replace behind me. And I'd kind of throw it back to him for a 3. And so we would do that all the time. And a lot of times we might be the only 2 who knew the play. Mm-hmm. He'd take the ball out Michigan. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get me an assist, and so, so I'll dribble down, attack his man, and then kind of throw it back to him, and he would shoot it at the top of the key or whatever, and knock down the 3. And so that trailer play, like I saw that kind of developing. Yeah. And so knowing Jenkins was a great shooter, and Archie Diacono's penetrating, and they're kind of going to the ball, trying to double team him, and he kicked it out to, so that's what I saw in that moment. I was thinking of Michigan, that play. And, but to be able to, get in there in that moment and have my voice on that call was really cool. And it's funny, like, a lot of play-by-play guys, like they want to be the only voice. Yeah. They want to, but Jim, just being a team guy, like was like so excited that I got in. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that now, even later on. I think it just speaks to the comfort level and the chemistry that our group has together.
Yeah, that's super cool.